Okay, so our friend Rebecca sent me a few questions, patient interview pre-op questions. So let's help her out. She wants to be able to say to her patient, we are going to be your nurses today, gender neutral. In Spanish, you can say it like this: Vamos a ser sus enfermeros. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're probably saying, but enfermeros is the masculine form. You keep in mind that the masculine form is actually the inclusive form as well, meaning that the inclusive generic form includes both male and female. So the masculine form doubles as the neutral inclusive form. Do you have any metal in your body? In Spanish, you can say it like this: Tiene metal insertado en el cuerpo. Now, the reason why I added that word in there, insertado, it's because it tends to register a lot faster. You're asking the patient if they have something inserted, metal inserted in their body. And trust me, it registers a lot faster. So I would say it like that. Do you have any allergies? Tiene alergia. It's very simple. Just ask it like that. When was the last time you had something to eat or drink? And I get these interviews may take long, so efficiency is key. So I'm going to try to give you the shortest form possible. Now, this one, I recommend you break it down just like this. ¿Cuándo fue la última vez que comió o bebió algo? The reason being, it's because if you ask it too fast, you may have to end up repeating the question because they didn't catch it. But when you ask it like this, when you break it down in segments, they tend to register it a lot faster. So ask it like that. Do you have any dentures, jewelry, or hearing aids? In Spanish, you can say it like this: Tiene dentaduras postizas, joyas, o, for this one, you have many options. You have aparatos dispositivos, prótesis auditivas, or dispositivos de audición. You can use either one of them. I tend to use aparatos auditivos. Now, in your own words, can you tell me what procedure you are having done? Now, because of Spanish allows for, high flexibility, you technically have two options here. The first one reads as follows: En sus propias palabras, puede decirme qué procedimiento le van a hacer. Now, in this one, you have your intro clause, which is en sus propias palabras, which, sets the context. And then you follow it with the question, which has the verb, puede, the direct object, decirme, and then the question. ¿Qué procedimiento le van a hacer? In my opinion, this second one, which is the one that I tend to use, or a variation of the one that I use, emphasizes an answer a lot quicker. You can just switch it. You can say, puede decirme qué procedimiento le van a hacer en sus propias palabras. Now, of course, if you try to look it up in a book, or maybe a proper Spanish teacher out there might tell you that the first one is the one that you want to use because it's more proper and the structure is more traditional. I tend to ask it like this just because at the end I can say en sus propias palabras, which is what I want. Like I said, because Spanish allows you high flexibility, you can actually take the intro clause and put it at the end so you can emphasize what you want in the answer. Now, with older patients, I would ask it like this, and it's the structure is not formal, but it works every time. You can actually say it twice. You can say, en sus propias palabras, puede decirme qué procedimiento le van a hacer en sus propias palabras. That way you're emphasizing in your own words what are you having done. And I guarantee you it will generate you an answer if you ask it like this, like I just taught you. Now, next question. Has your surgeon and anesthesiologist talked to you yet? ¿Su cirujano y anestesiólogo ya hablaron con usted? Very simple, straightforward, no need to beat around the bush with it. Who is your preferred contact, and will they be waiting in the waiting room? Now, in Spanish, you can ask it like this: ¿Quién es su contacto de preferencia? Or, I've heard it asked this way as well: ¿Quién es su contacto de emergencia? And the second part, pay attention to this one, because if you want to master Spanish, you need to learn stuff like this. So if it's a female patient, you're going to ask, ¿La van a esperar en la sala de espera? La being the direct pronoun for her. So when you're talking to a woman, ¿La van a esperar en la sala de espera? La. If you have a male patient, however, you're going to say it like this. Lo van a esperar en la sala de espera. Lo being the direct object pronoun for him. So if it's a male, you're going to ask, lo van a esperar en la sala de espera. And for gender neutrality, you can ask it like this. Le van a esperar en la sala de espera. Now, le is the indirect object pronoun, which is gender neutral. And actually, if you want to learn more about these form of speech, gender neutrality in Spanish, you can Google leísmo, and you can find a ton of examples online. Now, for this one, can you please scoot yourself to the other bed carefully? Now, I'm assuming this one has to do with transferring from bed to bed, right? So in Spanish, you can say it like this. Puede pasarse a la otra cama. And at the end, you can just add con cuidado. Now, another common one. Can you scoot up or down a little bit? Now, in Spanish, you can give that direction like this. Or question. Puede recorrerse para arriba un poco. Or puede recorrerse para abajo un poco. That's how you say it in Spanish. Recorrerse para arriba, shift up, or recorrerse para abajo, literally meaning shift down. Another point of reference often missed is that, in Spanish, we don't say on your back or on your belly. We use the mouth as a point of reference. So if you want a patient on their back, you can say boca arriba, mouth facing up. If you want them to lay on their belly, you can say boca abajo, meaning the mouth pointing downwards. Because if you try to literally translate en su espalda, it'll take a while for them to actually do the mental math of like, okay, boca arriba. So just use the mouth as the point of reference. And the last question, after they're waking up in the OR, and you want to say to the patient, you're in the OR, we're all done. You did great. Now for this one, I'm going to go off script because I think I have a better statement that you can give at the end. Now in Spanish, you can say it like this. Estamos en el quirófano. Ya terminamos. La operación fue todo un éxito. Now, why do I say it like this? Because in Spanish, across all forms of media, telenovelas, news, whatever, you name it, after surgery, if it went well, we say it like this. La operación fue todo un éxito, which is Spanish for the surgery was a complete success. And if you say that, it is much better than saying, hizo bien, estuvo bien, todo bien, because it gets the message across like this, that everything went well. And they're familiar with it, which is what you want. Anyways, hope it helps. If you have your own list of questions, shoot me a DM on Instagram and I'll make a video like this one.
La operación de Eugenio Derbez fue todo un éxito.
La cirugía, pero sobre todo también a los médicos que dieron todo de sí para que esto sea un verdadero éxito. Escuchemos lo que nos...
Les quiero comentar que la cirugía de Guatón fue todo un éxito, chicos, fue todo un éxito.